Okay, I just feel like I got to clarify one last time for the people way, way in the back who are hating on my video that I did 2 days ago about the unpinning and gamma pinning that's happening with Bitcoin. So, just to be very, very clear, just because the unpinning happened, and partly it's my fault, I'll admit, I phrase things in a really poor way, but I'm trying to explain a very complex thing in a very quick TikTok. So, you have to understand just because something unpins does not necessarily imply immediate volatility. Okay. When that gamma unpinning happened, we still now have low liquidity, right? And I talked about this in my video yesterday, and that can be from a number of reasons, being the weekend, et cetera, et cetera. And there, but also like it's Christmas time, right? Nobody's really trading around Christmas time into the new year. It's usually, again, just a low liquidity time of the year. So a lot of that can play into this, guys. And we're not guaranteed, nothing is guaranteed to be extremely volatile right away. The whole point of explaining gamma pinning and what can happen is because not every time, but sometimes there can be quite a bit of volatility. If you look at the past, just go back and look at previous gamma pinnings that have happened with Bitcoin, crypto, other stocks. Oftentimes they do become very violent right after. There can be a lot of shifting around of portfolios and things like that. Now, that hasn't happened yet. Could it still happen? Absolutely. We could still see that happen when liquidity does pick up, Bitcoin picks a direction. And then again, we've talked about that roller coaster kind of accelerates one way or another. But again, it's just not guaranteed. Nothing is ever guaranteed. And if you follow people, I got a lot of haters out there, and it's totally fine. You're always going to have the trolls, but a lot of people are like, I learned nothing from this. It goes up and down. If you can't appreciate that gamma pinning is important and it allows you to understand that the price action is probably going to hold within a certain, boundary for a certain period of time, and then the unpinning of that can allow for it to fluctuate afterwards, that I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that is good, useful information. Maybe it won't be able to be applied to everybody, but in my opinion, that is something it's great to know, great information to have. So, to all the haters in the back, if you just don't like the content, you don't have to follow. Nobody's forcing you to do it. But I, for myself, am going to continue to try and teach you guys everything I possibly can about how crypto works, all the ins and outs, and break it down very simply so that you can understand how the market works, and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to drop another video later tonight, but I just wanted to come on here, quickly address the haters, and apologize for how I did phrase things. Of course, I can see how it would make it sound like,